All right, we are back. Peanut Gallery. Let's talk about the McMahon Triple H era.
Yeah, so obviously, Vince is it's very clear, I think, from the outset that Vince is no longer in charge of creative at this point in time. And I think we saw a lot of examples of it happening throughout SummerSlam. And I think that in our previous part, we had made a lot of points that points to the fact that Vince McMahon is no longer in charge. And we've seen it from the small things at Raws and Smackdowns to even big things that happened at the pay-per-views. And I think that a lot of things are going to change now with McMahon in charge now, because we were able to speculate.
McMahon, not Triple H. Or not Vince.
Right. But we were able to speculate, and we've done all of these speculations and rumors and everything else is happening with what if theoretically these two took over? Well, now they've taken over.
Right.
So I'm going to go through some of the things that could possibly change going forward.
I saw a thing on Twitter a couple of days ago. By the way, follow me on Twitter. Link is either going to be right there or in the bio. Or in the description, excuse me. But a lot of people were saying that Vince McMahon is holding WWE back. You don't have that excuse anymore.
Right.
What's going to happen at that point?
Right.
Like, where's that holdback now? And I even said this before. AEW is actually now in trouble, and they are now more than ever. Because now you have a multi-billion-dollar company behind Triple H Creative.
Right. And I think that there's going to be some competition. I think there's going to be some changes. Because Triple H has a good reputation among the wrestlers within the community. Especially in terms of where his position is at now.
Exactly.
There's a much better reputation going around. But let's talk about some of the things that could change under the Triple H
era. There's going to be a greater influence on what's going to be happening. We saw this with the re-signing of Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
And the re-signing of Io Shirai, who was pretty...
She was out the door at that point. She had one foot out the door.
And then also now the interest of indie stars now wanting to come back to WWE because Vince McMahon is no longer in charge. And also the AEW guys who want to go over to WWE. And that was even before the Mr. McMahon thing.
But let's talk about this because Logan Paul is just one example of many. Because WWE is taking, I think they're under the McMahon Helmsley era. They're going to make a more hybrid approach to signing superstars.
Right.
So they are still continuing on with the Next in Line program, where people from outside the industry are going to come in and become WWE superstars.
Yes, and we are fully aware of the many injuries that happened during the SummerSlam tryouts as well.
So Triple H maybe wants to mix that up with some indie stars as well. Right. So there's a mix of indie stars and NIL stars.
And I think that's going to be a good thing because you'll get a first-hand experience from somebody who may have a little more credibility, not only credibility on camera with the fans, but also credibility as a competitor. Mm-hmm. You'll have a little more training even within the ring, which is always a good thing. We saw that success already with the old NXT. They had that hybrid. And it worked.
And then the other thing that we're going to see a lot more of, too, and take that with a grain of salt, is we're going to see more celebrity sightings, like Logan Paul, for example. We're going to see more Logan Pauls come through.
But here's the other thing, too. You're not just going to see celebrities who don't care about wrestling.
You're going to see celebrities that care about wrestling, that want to train for it, and that want to be successful at it.
Right. You have Bad Bunny. You have Logan Paul. You're going to see more of that.
I mean, Logan Paul is just the first of possibly many people that...
It's not a possibility, it's a guarantee.
Well, I mean, that's just the way it is. And we talked about this too. So, interestingly enough, the Bayley faction that we had was actually rejected by Vince McMahon. Obviously, Triple H had a different idea.
And also...
And this is what you get.
To the fact that you have Dakota Kai coming back after being released.
Yep.
You have Io Shirai, or Io Sky, excuse me, who is pretty much re-signed with the company and now is in the main event scene. And then Bayley, who's kind of now put in this huge position, is almost indicative of what we're probably going to see within the next couple of months. We're going to see a lot of people coming back. And I wouldn't be surprised if some AEW guys want to jump some ships because we're starting to see the cracks. And also, a lot of people who are like, I'm happy to work for Trips, but maybe not Vince.
Right.
But now you don't have that excuse anymore. And that's the thing.
You're going to see a lot of people let their contracts expire or request to be released.
Yep. It's gonna go down with the E now.
Yeah.
Because you know what? They've always had the money, but it's always been about the booking. But now Triple H, who has always had that mind of just knowing what to do.
And here's what most people don't realize about Triple H is that Triple H is one of the best. He's one of the best minds in the industry. I mean, he's like JR levels of like communication and just relationships with wrestlers. Like, he knows everybody in the industry. You don't think he doesn't know? Oh, he knows everybody. Like, Ring of Honor, AEW, Impact Wrestling, MLW, NJPW. He knows everybody.
And the thing was that we saw a ton of great examples just even within the Ric Flair's last match thing on the change of direction with WWE. WWE production guys were there helping Conrad Thompson and Ric Flair's last match. That would have never have happened with Vince.
No.
Ever. Because he sees them as competition. Triple H sees it as a potential opportunity for the future.
Right. And you know that they were there. You know that Triple H and Stephanie were there.
With that production quality, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, come on.
They were definitely there. So let's talk about this because there were some rumors, too, that NXT 2.0 is going to be a little bit of a change. Now, they're not going all the way back to the black and gold era of NXT. But, again, I think that we're going to see a lot of differences with the presentation, the style of wrestling, and the opportunities afforded to superstars within the NXT system.
I'll be honest with you, I would not be surprised if you saw some of those AEW guys go through the NXT system to kind of be retrained to a system that has worked for so long with a person who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Right, because with Triple H running NXT, you saw the potential. You saw that they would bring back Mickie James. They would bring back Jushin Thunder Liger for like special matches. Maybe we see that happening again.
Maybe we'll see your MJFs. You'll see your Wardlows go through the NXT system where they'll already have the name.
If they sign with the company, absolutely.
Right. And even maybe even like some of those other AEW guys who left the company. Maybe we'll see the Undisputed Era back within NXT. Maybe not necessarily just to be on camera, but maybe to train. And that's the other thing, too. Keep in mind, it's not just one thing. And then also, Shawn Michaels is working directly with NXT. And you don't think Triple H is going to be maybe a little more loose and tie about what Shawn Michaels is doing with them? He's already been successful with NXT UK to an extent.
Right.
The difference is that NXT UK starts a lot later and it's a much different wrestling style.
It is.
So, but even within NXT or even in the United Kingdom, NXT UK is pretty much the most popular brand within that system because they have the best quality matches.
Right.
And that's Shawn Michaels' baby.
Right.
Now, if you don't think Shawn Michaels will have a little bit of grubby fingers within the NXT system with Triple H as head of creative and Stephanie McMahon as CEO kind of holding that, come on.
Right.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you're thinking of
Right, absolutely. But, NXT is going to undergo a few changes. I think that we're going to see some marketable improvements. I think we're going to see more indie stars than we are seeing now.
Maybe a little more nitty gritty with the NXT product.
I mean, it really just depends.
I'm excited. That's the other thing. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what's exciting. Like, that gets your blood boiling. That gets you ready to watch Raw.
Because again, we got a little taste of it, but what's going to happen going forward?
Right.
What's going to happen with Clash at the Castle? And I want to talk a little bit about that as well, because I think that with Clash at the Castle, we're going to kind of see maybe a little fuller vision of what Triple H wants.
Right. You're seeing from post SummerSlam to Clash at the Castle booking under the new regime.
And I think that we're going to see a little bit more happen. I think we're going to see a much more full transition with this.
I'm excited for it, though.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I was excited for Clash at the Castle to begin with because of what we're definitely going to see. But now with this new regime, with this new kind of booking, you know this thing is probably going to be a slam dunk.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
So that's all I've got. I mean, we've speculated. Well, here's reality. Here's what we got.
Yep. And I'll reiterate this because I think it is something. AEW better be on their toes at this point because now they can't coast anymore.
Right.
If they continue to put on the product that they have, they're not going to survive to the end of the year. And we're already seeing ratings drop. And now with Triple H being there, what's going to happen at that point?
Right.
What else is he going to do?
Right.
The thing is, we're not going to know everything immediately.
Right.
This is going to be at least 2 to 3 months minimum
before we see a pattern.
Right. On the full potential on what's going to happen. Is this momentum going to continue or will it flop?
Right.
We'll just have to see. So when we come back, with Ric Flair having his very last match in a pay-per-view named after such, let's talk about other pay-per-views, events, and tours that are named after wrestlers, groups, etc. And that's when we come back.
All right.